We're on day 9 of the conflict between the U.S., Israel, and Iran, and everything has changed. The war has just escalated beyond what anyone could have predicted. A line has been crossed. A boundary that was supposed to be untouchable has been breached.
I want you to really think about this for a second. What happens when the one thing you absolutely need to survive, more than oil, more than even electricity, suddenly becomes a primary target?
That's right. The attacks aren't just on military bases anymore. In a region that is mostly desert, the most precious resource of all, water itself, is now directly in the crosshairs. This is a terrifying escalation, one aimed squarely at civilian life.
Now, this slide here reveals an unbelievable vulnerability. You have entire nations in the Persian Gulf that only exist because of these massive industrial plants that turn seawater into drinking water. They're literally water factories. Look at Qatar. It depends on them for almost 100% of its fresh water. For Kuwait and Bahrain, it's over 90%. If these plants go down, entire cities could face a catastrophic water crisis in a matter of days.
And this right here, this shows you how the game has completely changed. See, ever since World War II, modern wars aren't really won just by destroying tanks and planes. They're won by paralyzing the enemy's entire society. The targets have shifted from the army itself to the infrastructure that keeps a country alive, its electricity, its fuel, and now its drinking water.
But don't think for a second that these are just random acts of chaos. Oh no, they are part of a cold, calculated military doctrine that's unfolding in 3 very distinct phases.
Phase 1 was called decapitate. That was all about surgical strikes targeting key leaders to create confusion. Then came Phase 2, degrade, bombing air bases and missile sites to cripple their ability to fight back. And now we've entered the 3rd and by far the most brutal phase.
Make no mistake about it, these attacks on energy and water mean we are now in the final stage. The goal here is total asphyxiation, to choke off the economic and life-sustaining systems of the entire country. This has become total war.
And while all this is happening on the ground, the shockwaves are spreading far, far beyond the Middle East. The entire global economy is now getting sucked into this conflict, all because of one critical choke point.
This is the stark reality of the situation. The Strait of Hormuz, which is a vital artery for global trade, is now effectively shut down. Almost no ships are daring to cross it, and the consequences, well, they're catastrophic.
And believe me, this is about so much more than just the price of gas. Take the UAE, for example. It imports 85% of its food through this strait. A blockade could mean a massive food crisis. But it goes even deeper. The Gulf exports huge amounts of sulfur, which is a key ingredient for fertilizers used all over Asia. That supply chain is now broken, threatening global agriculture. The flow of industrial chemicals, of heavy machinery, it's all just stopped, stalling projects all over the world.
So, as the global system starts to fracture, the world's military powers are not just sitting back and watching. The machinery of war is kicking into high gear, and it looks like they're preparing for a much, much bigger conflict.
3. That's the number of U.S. aircraft carrier strike groups that will soon be operating in the Middle East. The USS George Bush is finishing up its training right now and is getting ready to sail, joining the 2 that are already there.
Just let that sink in for a moment. We're talking about 3 floating air bases, each one protected by a fleet of warships, all capable of launching non-stop air operations. This is an almost unprecedented concentration of naval power. It's a clear, unmistakable signal of U.S. military readiness and intent.
4 times. Apparently, at a meeting in the White House, the biggest U.S. defense companies, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, RTX, they've all reportedly agreed to multiply their production of armaments by 4.
You don't do something like that for a short, quick engagement. Ramping up production on this kind of scale is a crystal clear sign that the United States is stocking its arsenals for a sustained, high-intensity, and potentially very, very long war.
And now, just when you think you've got all the players figured out, a new and surprising factor enters the equation. 10,000. That's the number of low-cost interceptor drones that Ukrainian defense companies are now claiming they can export every single month without even affecting their own war effort. The implication here is huge. Years of intense, brutal fighting have accidentally forged Ukraine into a new powerhouse of drone warfare. Their technology is cheap, it's effective, and it's been battle-tested against the exact same Iranian-made drones being used in this conflict. A new player has officially entered the global arms race. So that leaves us with one final and frankly chilling question. With global supply chains breaking, with arsenals being filled at a frantic pace, and with one of the largest naval fleets in history converging on the region, have we passed the point of no return?